Across vast landscapes, a powerful and intelligent animal has quietly multiplied beyond control, reshaping ecosystems, damaging crops, and challenging human management. This isn't a story of predators or prey, but of balance and what happens when it breaks. From dense forests to open farmlands, wild boars have become one of the world's most resilient and adaptable species. But how did this rise happen, and what does it reveal about our relationship with nature? Let's explore the untold reality behind one of the planet's most complex wildlife challenges. In many rural regions, wild boars have grown from a simple nuisance into one of the most challenging problems for modern agriculture. These animals, known for their intelligence and strength, have rapidly multiplied in recent years, destroying crops, tearing through fences, and competing with native wildlife for food. The damage they cause is staggering. Hundreds of millions of dollars worth of losses each year to farms, equipment, and ecosystems. What was once a quiet forest issue has now turned into a nationwide agricultural crisis. Before we move deeper into this fascinating story, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit like if you enjoy learning about how humans and nature collide in surprising ways. It really helps the channel grow and lets me keep bringing you more in-depth stories like this in one farming community located near the foothills of a mountain range. Farmers began noticing strange patterns in their fields at night. Deep ruts, overturned soil, and entire patches of corn flattened. Surveillance cameras soon revealed the culprits. Massive wild boars, some weighing over 150 kilograms, traveling in herds. These weren't isolated incidents. Similar scenes were being reported across multiple regions, forcing both farmers and local authorities to act. Wildlife control teams were dispatched to assess the scale of the problem. Their findings were shocking. The boar population had surged by more than 300% within a few short years, thanks to favorable conditions, mild winters, abandoned farmlands, and plenty of food sources. With no natural predators to keep them in check, the animals had become dominant across vast landscapes. Rather than relying solely on traditional methods, new strategies were introduced. Teams now use motion-activated drones, thermal imaging, and GPS trackers to study the boar's nightly movements. These modern tools have allowed researchers to predict migration routes and prevent future damage before it happens. Farmers, in turn, have started building reinforced barriers, using scent deterrents and coordinating with neighboring farms to track herds in real time. But despite the technology, the problem is far from simple. Wild boars are highly adaptive. They quickly learn to avoid traps, remember the sound of vehicles, and even change their feeding routes when threatened. One wildlife expert described them as four-legged survivors with the mind of a strategist. It's this adaptability that makes them one of the hardest invasive species to control. In one incident, a monitoring team deployed a drone at night over a dense patch of forest. What the thermal camera showed was astonishing. Over 50 boars moving in a coordinated line across the valley, heading straight for a crop field. Within minutes, the team alerted nearby farmers, who quickly responded with noise deterrents and bright floodlights to push the herd away. This quick reaction saved several acres of land that would have been destroyed overnight. Yet, for every victory, there are setbacks. In open terrain, the animals can move freely, causing chaos in newly planted areas. Farmers wake up to find entire fields uprooted, irrigation pipes damaged, and even livestock injured by frightened animals charging through fences. Many who once relied on agriculture as their main livelihood are now forced to spend more time repairing than harvesting. Around this point, many viewers might wonder, why not relocate them instead of controlling their numbers? The truth is, relocation has been tried in many countries, but the results are disappointing. Boars are territorial and quickly adapt to new areas, sometimes spreading the problem even further. That's why most wildlife agencies now focus on population control through safe, government-supervised measures. If you're enjoying the documentary so far, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. It really motivates us to keep exploring stories that show the hidden side of how humans and wildlife coexist. Meanwhile, researchers are also studying how changing landscapes contribute to the issue. Urban expansion has pushed wild animals out of their original habitats. As forests shrink and farmland expands, boars have learned that human environments offer easier access to food. They raid trash bins, feed on fallen fruit, and follow water channels leading directly into farmlands. Some even appear in suburban areas, startling residents and damaging gardens overnight. In response, several regions have introduced community patrol programs. Instead of relying only on professional wildlife units, farmers and locals are trained to identify early signs of boar activity, hoof prints, fresh digging, or night grunts, and report them immediately. By working together, these communities have been able to prevent larger herds from forming near residential zones. There's also a growing emphasis on humane deterrence. For example, some farms have begun using high-frequency sound devices that discourage wild animals from approaching. Others rely on environmentally friendly repellents derived from natural herbs and oils, which help protect crops without harming the ecosystem. It's a fine balance between defending farmland and maintaining the region's biodiversity. As wildlife experts emphasize, the goal is not eradication, but coexistence. Boars play an important role in soil aeration and seed dispersal. Completely removing them would create new ecological problems. The real challenge lies in keeping their numbers sustainable, ensuring they remain part of the natural cycle without threatening human livelihood. In one experimental project, wildlife biologists use tracking collars to understand how family groups of boars move and feed. The results were fascinating. Each herd followed a circular pattern, returning to the same area roughly every 10 days. This discovery helped farmers predict where the next incursion might occur, allowing them to reinforce fences or use deterrents before the animals returned. At the same time, advancements in smart agriculture are providing new hope. Using AI-driven sensors and automatic cameras, farms can now detect ground vibrations or animal movements before the damage begins. These systems instantly alert landowners through mobile apps, helping them act within minutes. Such technologies have already reduced crop losses significantly in pilot areas. But it's not just about protecting fields. Public safety has also become a concern. Road accidents caused by boars darting onto highways have increased, prompting wildlife authorities to install warning systems and fences along key routes. Education campaigns are also teaching drivers and residents how to react safely during unexpected encounters. Despite all these efforts, the scale of the problem means that control remains an ongoing effort rather than a one-time fix. Each year brings new challenges, shifting migration routes, unpredictable weather, and the boar's unrelenting adaptability. Yet, for many rural communities, these challenges have inspired innovation, cooperation, and resilience. Halfway through the story, one can't help but appreciate the balance between human persistence and nature's complexity. The struggle against wild boar overpopulation is not a simple battle. It's a reminder of how deeply our lives are connected to the ecosystems around us. As night falls, monitoring teams continue their work, scanning dark forests with drones and infrared cameras. The sight of glowing red silhouettes moving silently through the trees has become a nightly ritual, a symbol of how science and determination combine to protect the land. Months later, some regions report measurable success. Crop recovery rates are up, and incidents of damage have decreased by as much as 40% thanks to better coordination. It's still an uphill climb, but progress is real. Experts predict that within a few years, sustainable management systems could bring the wild boar population back under control, ensuring that both nature and agriculture can thrive side by side. Before we wrap up, don't forget to subscribe if you'd like to see more stories about how humans adapt to challenges from the natural world. Your support helps us keep exploring and sharing these real-life efforts happening across the planet. Standing at the edge of a misty forest, a farmer looks at his land, the same soil that once seemed helpless against waves of destruction. Now, with modern tools, shared knowledge, and a renewed sense of unity, the fight no longer feels hopeless. It's a new chapter in the timeless story of coexistence. Humans learning to protect what they've built while respecting the wild forces that surround them. The boars will continue to roam, but this time, people are ready.